The MT-10 polarizing looks will polarize you, but there's more to it than that. Be prepared to open your mind and take in information that is probably going to serve no purpose on this episode of Things You Didn't Know. If you take a look at the Yamaha R1, you'll notice that there is some characteristics that are shared between the Yamaha MT-10, such as this bolt right over here. So you may ask yourself, how did Yamaha manage to sell such a similar bike to an R1 and make it so much cheaper? They probably had to remove so many features, right? Well, actually, yes. Or did they? Well, yes. But lucky us, they gave something to the MT-10 that the R1 does not have, and that is cruise control. You may be thinking, well, there's nothing special about cruise control, and you may be right, but did you know that the throttle on the MT-10 can go in both directions?
Of course, you can easily disable the cruise control by pressing the front brake, by pulling in the clutch, by pressing the rear brake, but you can also disable it by rolling the throttle into the other direction, just like this. And now it's off, which makes it pretty interesting.
Stock, this motorcycle makes about 80 foot-pounds of torque, which equals to a very light front wheel on acceleration. In case the front wheel goes out of alignment with the rear, the bike needs to get stabilized somehow, or things can go south very quickly. On most bikes, this is solved by including a steering stabilizer, which is located on the top of the triple clamp. This bike is no exception, but if you didn't know what you were looking for, you would probably never find it. The steering stabilizer is actually hidden very well for a cleaner look, which I really appreciate. Although this bike does have an older type of LCD display, there's still quite a bit of information that is displayed at all times. Now, usually on most bikes, if you would like to see different trips, engine temperatures, etc., you would have to physically press the buttons on the LCD display to view different information.
On this motorcycle, what you can actually do, instead of reaching for your dash just like this and pressing all the buttons, which is not very safe, is there's actually this trigger right here, which lets you switch all of this information. This button would otherwise be a high beam flasher button on many other motorcycles, but in this case, this is actually your trip select and temperature select button right over here.
Earlier in this video, we talked about Yamaha cutting costs down for this bike, and the brakes were definitely part of that. But that doesn't mean that they are not cool to an average person who knows nothing about cars or bikes. Both the front and rear master cylinders feature Brembo branding, so if you want to show off, you can tell the whole world that you're rocking Brembo brakes. Of course, until a Ducati V4 rolls up. Now, of course, the MT-10 being such a machine, you probably expect the bike to need a lot of air to pump out those insane horsepower numbers. Luckily, this motorcycle has these two massive intakes on both sides of the gas tank, or does it? Actually, these two intakes are completely fake, and the main and only intake is in between these two headlights. One of the first mods that riders get for their motorcycles are radiator guards, which protect your cooling system from the debris on the road which can get shot up by your front tire. With the MT-10, not only do you have a radiator, but it also features an oil cooler. So not only do you have to worry about leaking coolant all over the place, you might also have to worry about oil leaking all over the place. Luckily, Yamaha has thought of that and included a puny oil cooler guard, which may protect from bigger debris, but definitely not smaller rocks, and the protection that Yamaha included for the top rad is just pure rider's luck.
Another interesting feature of this motorcycle is that the ECU is actually hidden behind one single shroud of plastic, where on other bikes, the ECU would be hidden somewhere on the inside, under the gas tank, under a lot of fairings, but this is really accessible and makes it much easier for me to take it in and out.
Although Yamaha motorcycles are one of the most reliable motorcycle manufacturers out there, different types of situations may occur out there on the road which may require you to use some tools. Majority of motorcycles have their tools located under the main or passenger seat. In this case, the tools are actually part of the seat, which helps to save on space. Then there's this nice little cutout in the middle where I like to store some tire patch tools just in case. When you purchase this bike, you may realize that there's not one, not two, but 3 keys that come with your brand new MT-10. 2 of the keys are black and 1 of them is red. If you didn't read the owner's manual, you would probably think that Yamaha is just giving you color options to suit your liking, but no. The black keys are your regular keys and the red key is your re-registering key, because the MT-10 actually comes with an immobilizer. Yamaha states to never use the red key for riding and only to use it for re-registering your keys.
Now, because this is technically a sport bike, there isn't a lot of luxuries on it aside from cruise control. But what you probably didn't know is this bike actually has a cigarette lighter right over here, which is really interesting. Now in my case, this is really helpful because not only can I charge my phone, but if I have a GoPro running on my windscreen or on my brake reservoir, I can just run a cable to my cigarette lighter and have the power to my GoPro at all times. And if you guys are wondering how I'm able to mount my GoPro onto any helmet, check out Ridetech Moto. We sell custom camera mounts which mount on any helmet listed on our website.
Fun fact, the Yamaha logo is actually 3 musical tuning forks. Unlike most naked bikes, the headlight assembly on the MT-10 actually does not move with the forks. This is due to the position of the air intake. The headlight assembly actually floats past the handlebars, which is more common in fully faired sport bikes. This puts the dash farther away from the rider's view, which makes it more comfortable to check your speed and other vital information. As an added security feature, which is not actually a security feature, if you want to keep something valuable under the seat of your bike, which I don't recommend, it's actually pretty hard to find the keyhole for the latching mechanism. It is located on the underside of the passenger seat, which is pretty difficult to find. Here were just some facts that I thought were interesting about the Yamaha MT-10. Hope you guys liked this type of video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out Ridetech Moto if you're looking to acquire a custom camera mount. Many other videos are coming out soon, and we will see you in the next one.